Hey there, everybody. This is Kristin from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you at this week's mindfulness meditation practice. And we are in the month of self-advocacy. We've already explored the ideas around self-advocacy that are associated with doing less, asking for help. And I thought that for this week, it's a little bit of an extension of asking for help, but it's a little bit more nuanced. The theme or the invitation that I'm going to extend to you for this week is around the idea of articulating your needs. So yes, by asking, for help with something, clearly that is a part of it as well. But I really do think of this as an extension of that. Now, it might seem almost obvious, I think, this idea of articulating your needs. But I think it is actually something worth exploring more so than you might think, because what I've experienced and what I've experienced, with other people as well, is that sometimes people, I guess one way of saying it is they assume that the person either knows what he or she themselves needs, or they think, well, if this person really loved me, then they would know what I need. And even in the circumstances where you have articulated your needs and it seems to have sort of fallen by the wayside, and in that case, you're obviously re-articulating your needs, I really do think that it is something that we should take personal responsibility for, because it really is the only way to bridge that gap between what you do need and what that looks like and the fact that it isn't happening. And so, you could come at it from a few different angles. Like, I think one fun way of thinking about it is articulating your needs is really a gesture that's not only in service of yourself, but it's in service of the other, because, you can't expect other people to be psychic and know what it is that you need. And of course, those needs can shift and change and evolve over time. Another way to think about it is, yes, but I've already expressed this before. Is there another way, a different wording or just a reinforcement of it, where you really do emphasize in whatever way feels appropriate to you just how important this is to you, that it is actually a need, it is essential, and it's not something that just is an extra or would be nice, but you really need this, whatever it might be in this interpersonal dynamic with someone else. And so I know that's all sort of vague, but I really do think that sometimes, just to punctuate my points here before we begin, I really think that sometimes we can just sort of drop the ball on asking for what we need because you're exhausted, or because you're tired of asking for it, or whatever it might be, and all of those things are very justifiable. And at the same time, it still is a necessary act on your part if you are looking for the outcomes that really are something that are very, very important to you. So that is my sort of self-advocacy invitation for you this week, is asking or articulating for what you need, and if necessary, re-articulating it in a way that you feel that it is more clearly received and understood by the person to whom you are expressing it. So, what I'd like to do in the spirit of this is I'd like for us to do a traditional meditation to start, and then I want to kind of circle back to this idea, because in some cases it might be very clear what it is that you need, and in some cases it might not. And so I just want to create some space for that to arise. And so we'll do that on the latter part of our meditation together. And if that doesn't resonate with you, that is just fine. Of course, feel free to just keep doing what you're doing if that one just isn't your thing. All right, I'm setting my timer. for 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to encourage you to just find that meditation posture that feels right for you today. If you're in a chair, just a reminder that if you have your legs uncrossed and both feet flat on the ground, it really does allow you to have a greater sense of stability and groundedness. Of course, if you're laying down, just being very aware of where your body makes contact. And if, like me, you're sitting cross-legged on a cushion, just making sure that that too feels very stable and you feel very connected to whatever surface is beneath you and supporting you. And if you haven't already, let's go ahead and take some of those deep, grounding, cleansing, and calming belly breaths. The eyes being either closed or the gaze downcast. You know you can rest your awareness on the breath and its sensations. You can rest it on the body or part of the body, sounds. And also you can rest your awareness in this open awareness, which we talk about from time to time, which is just noticing any sensory input, wherever it might come from moment to moment. It's sometimes referred to as just sitting or shikantaza. So whatever feels right to you. And right out of the gate as we're settling in, if you really feel like you're really playing with that quality of lightness and ease that we talked about last week, and instead of trying to rest your awareness, instead just not trying or just resting and being, even though your mind will wander and you bring it back and it wanders and you bring it back. Almost like holding a baby bird in your hands. You want to hold it so that it's stable and contained until it gets to where it needs to be, but you don't want to hold it too tight. So let's play with this for a little while and I'll check in shortly. So if you'd like to continue with the meditation as it is, feel free to do so. But in the interest of a little self-inquiry regarding if we're talking about articulating our needs, perhaps there are some that are less obvious. So if you're interested in doing so, I'd like for you to begin just by allowing yourself to envision yourself in a beautiful, natural space, somewhere outdoors, either a place you're familiar with or even something from your imagination. Allowing yourself to feel the sensations of being in this beautiful, comforting, natural area. Feeling the air on your skin, the earth underneath you. Picturing yourself standing and beginning to walk forward. And as you walk forward in this beautiful space, you begin to see nearby is a well. An old-fashioned well with rocks around the outside. Perhaps it has a roof and a rope and a bucket. And as you look at this well, enjoying this view, I'm going to encourage you to look down at the ground and pick up a pebble, feeling the weight of the pebble, its texture, whether it's smooth or rough, its color. And then when you're ready, walking up to the well, and this pebble is symbolic of your question, being, what is it that I need? What could I be articulating to someone else as a need for me? And when you're ready, dropping that pebble into the well and hearing the noise that it makes when it eventually plops into the water. And as you stand near this well, the pebble drops deeper and deeper, allowing yourself to hear what the answer is that arises from deep within. So just allowing yourself to sit for a moment and see if any images or language arises in your mind as you wait for the response to your question. And if you find that it's unclear or nothing arises for you, keeping in mind that it might occur to you after this meditation. So when you're ready, releasing this image and coming back into the room right now. So in the interest of articulating your needs to others, if you found that that visualization was helpful, that is wonderful. If it didn't resonate for you or just you didn't really feel like anything came up, as I mentioned during the actual visualization, it might occur to you at another time. It could be images in your mind or a a sentence or some words. And if not, that's okay too. Sometimes these things don't always land every time. So, either way, warmest wishes to you this week. I hope that you feel inclined to accept this invitation for articulating your needs, whatever they may be. And as always, thank you so much for taking this time for yourself, and thank you for allowing me to accompany you on this journey. I'll see you next week. Take care.